Hey guys, it's Ross Scott on the Space Coach site. I was asked by one of my viewers to rank the 10 Star Wars films. So here we go. I had to make some notes. So number 10, and in last place, The Phantom Menace. Now what I didn't like about that, obviously Jar Jar Binks is just too much. The underwater sequence for me just goes on too long, and the whole thing was done just so they can say there's always a bigger fish. The pod racing just seemed to be interminable. It just went on and on and on. Plus, of course, there's some wooden acting. Now, what I did like, obviously, Darth Maul, Duel of the Fates, that's an awesome piece of music. And loads of the music in it were great as well. I really liked the depiction of Coruscant, because that was the first time we'd ever seen it on screen. And it took directly from Timothy Zahn's Coruscant, which is the first time the Galactic Capital had ever been named in the Thrawn trilogy. Obviously, Palpatine was great in it. Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Yoda, they were all great. So that's what I liked and didn't like about Phantom Menace. In 9, Attack of the Clones. I didn't like the romance and the leaden acting. It just didn't really work. There wasn't really any chemistry between the actors. But what I did like, obviously, things like Jango Fett. That whole thing on Kamino was awesome. Some of the visuals on that, where you see all of the clone troopers on parade, it was just fantastic. And obviously, Geonosis was a great sequence. And Count Dooku, Christopher Lee, he's just awesome. Now, 8 is, for me, Revenge of the Sith. Great opening sequence. Obviously, the whole Order 66 at the end, that's a fantastic montage as well. Palpatine is great in that as well, of course. And obviously, there's Mustafar as well that I really liked. But again, a little bit wooden on the acting for me. And it was at that point, I was kind of bored with the whole prequels by then. I saw it at midnight showing in Australia, and I was really tired and I just wanted it to be over. And that was the last time I saw that film until a couple of years ago, so like 10 years between it. Oh, when I saw it again, it's like, my God, this is like watching a completely different and new Star Wars film. I did enjoy it much, much more. Now, for me, number 7 is The Last Jedi. Now, it has great parts in it. The visuals are fantastic. Obviously, the hold-on maneuver is just literally jaw-dropping. I really liked the Kylo and Rey scenes where they're force-linked. That was really good. What I didn't like, there was some pretty poor writing. Some of the jokes and stuff is like, ugh. Script's a bit flabby. Obviously, there's a whole Canto Bight arc that isn't really necessary. And obviously, I wasn't keen on the fact that they underused Finn, they underused Phasma. Leia was kind of underused as well. The depiction of Luke Skywalker. And the fact that the trilogy ends in the second movie, basically. There didn't seem to be that much new music that I could tell. Obviously, that one that uses the Jedi Steps, I think it's called The Spark. That's really good. But some of the other musical cues I didn't think worked very well. Where Chewie's flying the Falcon through the caverns on Crate, the music that's playing is the one from basically the escape from the first Death Star, where it's like, here they come, it's like that. I just didn't think it worked in that scene. Whereas in Solo, when they're flying through the Maw and everything, when they're having the fight against the TIE Fighter part, they use that exact same piece of music, and it did work for that. Now, for me, number 6, Rogue One. I liked just about all of it. Especially Vader in the hallway. That's just amazing. And when you see the Death Star firing on Jeddah and on Scarif, that was great too. What I wasn't so keen on was basically the rushed character development. It's like, for instance, Jin's speech to the rebels, it was all very forced. Like, well, where's all of this come from, basically? Now, for me, 5 is Solo. I thought it was great fun and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not higher up the list just because it was a much, much smaller story, more self-contained. And I thought that Val and Rio, they were pretty much both wasted in it, really. You didn't really need them at all. But I did think the cameo at the end was awesome. And Lando, Chewie and Han were all great in this. Now, for me, number 4 is Return of the Jedi. It's a great film. For me, my favourite part of that is the updated ending montage from the special editions. I thought that had much, much more emotional resonance in that version. We see all the different cities and planets celebrating. What I wasn't so keen on is I don't mind Ewoks, but the Ewok battle went on for too long, I think. It just seemed to go on and on and on. For me, 3 is Empire Strikes Back. It's just fantastic. I absolutely love it. Can't really think of things I don't like about it, but it's at number 3 for a reason. A New Hope is at number 2, and that's because it's not the first film I ever saw in the cinema, but it's the first one I remember, and it's the one that had the biggest impact on my entire life, just like it has for all of you as well. And that was my number 1 film, up until The Force Awakens came out, which is now my number 1. And I've spoken many times about the effect that that had on me, how it completely reconnected me to Star Wars, how it looked like Star Wars, it felt like Star Wars, it was Star Wars, you know? It's like, and yes, as I've said, I know it's a completely derivative plot, you know, and some of the things make no sense at all, like Starkiller Base being able to devour an entire sun and fire it out. But that's just Star Wars, you know, they always have those things. But for me, it's my favourite because it came at a time when I really needed it, and it has been a real comfort, the entire franchise, but particularly The Force Awakens, due to my own personal circumstances, being unemployed when that came out. It gave me such a huge lift. It'll be a long time before there's a film displaces it, I think. But please, GHA, feel free to make episode 9 even better than episode 7, and that would be awesome if you did. But for now, that is just my ranking of the 10 Star Wars films. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content. Leave me a comment or suggestion for a upcoming topic you'd like to see discussed, or like the video.